Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis, and this is for trading on March the 6th, 2020. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. As usual, we'll start off by taking a look at our calendar here. All right, so in terms of what happened today, essentially, we have seen the equity markets or stock market go back and forth. The market was, again, concerned about coronavirus, and as a result of that, we have seen problems in the market. So we have seen equities drop, yen crosses dropped as a result because people moved into safe haven assets. And also US dollar has taken a big hit because we did see Fed cut interest rates, and now everyone is expecting Fed to cut interest rates even more at their March meeting, the FOMC meeting that's coming up, as well as the meeting that they're going to hold in April. So overall, they're looking for the interest rates in the US to go down a fair bit. And we have seen that Bank of England as well as ECB have not cut rates, and they have not indicated that they are going to cut rates at this point. So we have seen British pound go up as well as euro go up against the US dollar. So if that changes, we could see euro drop, but for now, everybody hates US dollar, and they do not like buying, they don't like any of the risky stuff, so stocks and so forth. We have seen oil drop as a result of the coronavirus problems. We have also seen gold go up. So all the safe haven assets have been strong today. Coming up tomorrow, we have an important day for the US dollar. We have non-farm payroll, which is a big one, usually every month. So at this point, the ADP payroll numbers that came in were actually better than expected. So the data that has come out for the US this week has been better than expected. However, because Fed cut rates, US dollar has been taking a beating. So if these numbers actually come out below expectations, that will be even worse for the US dollar, and we could see it drop further. So keep an eye on these numbers. They are usually market moving. Now, we also have Canadian dollar data. So Canadian dollar has been taking a beating, one, because Bank of Canada matched the Fed interest rate cut, and they cut their interest rate by, or Bank of Canada cut interest rate by 50 basis points, so 0.5%. And now we all have also seen, or just in general, we have seen oil drop. So basically, overall, not so good for Canadian dollar, and those are the two things that are making Canadian dollar weak at this point. So if the numbers come in negative here, or below expectations, I shouldn't say negative, below expectations, that will be bad for Canadian dollar. Already we are expecting a drop in employment numbers, so if they are even worse than expected, that will be bad, especially here, this trade balance number. So trade is very important. Our trade balance numbers are very important. So if we see these numbers drop here, that would be bad for the Canadian dollar. So keep an eye on this. If you're trading dollar CAD, expect a lot of volatility right around this time. So let's go on to our charts here, and we'll take a look here, starting with euro dollar here. So we were seeing that price was trading in this range, and now price has gone through it. So today, price just took off starting last night, this morning, and we have seen price cross this level, the high, and now we are at highs that we haven't seen since July of 2019. So this is an important support resistance level here for euro. So right now euro is pulling back, so we'll see how it reacts at this 1200 level, 1.1200. If it holds above this level, I am looking for price to move higher here. Bias is bullish for euro, but also keep in mind that we are into a strong resistance, support resistance area. So if ECB comes out and says something about monetary policy or anything like that, that could turn things around for the euro. So just be mindful of that. And then there were also comments in regards to the euro or EU and UK trade talks, and essentially overall thing was that the negotiation may be difficult, but they are confident that they will be able to reach some sort of an agreement. So that was positive for euro as well. So right now momentum is to the upside. I would look for a pullback into 1.1200, or it could come all the way into 1.1180 and then turn around from there. But overall bias is bullish, and keep an eye out for a move higher. But like I said, strong support resistance area. If it holds below this level at 1.1250, this one can turn. So I would be careful with euro. Pound has been strong as well. So the last 3 days we have seen price go up. It went through this resistance level here. So the daily candle close is looking quite bullish here. So I will look for another move to the upside, potential pullback level into 1.2920, and then a further move to the upside. First target here is 1.3020, and then beyond that we're looking at 1.3070. So bias is bullish for pound dollar. Aussie dollar here, this one is neutral. We did see a drop here, but like I said, US dollar has been taking a beating, and US index has just dropped. So overall, it's not so much that the Australian dollar is strong, it's just that US dollar is really weak, and that's why we have seen price go back and forth here. But the bias here is neutral. So as long as price stays below 0.6650, bias is still to the downside. So we could see price go and test this level and then drop. So as long as it holds below this resistance level, it is like I will look for it to drop. But once it crosses through here, then there is all this room to the upside, so price could go even higher. But because Reserve Bank of Australia cut rates, so it's not that much better than US dollar at this point. So right now, neutral bias for Aussie, and here the first target would be 0.6580. New Zealand dollar, same thing here. We did see price go and test the resistance, and then it closed below the resistance level here. So we do see a pin bar here, but like I said, US dollar is just taking a beating right now. So I will look for price to retest the high, and if it holds below, then I'm still looking for it to come lower. Reserve Bank of New Zealand is another one that is looking to cut rates. They have cut rates already, but not so much due to coronavirus, but they have been talking about it. So New Zealand dollar is not that much stronger either. So if it holds below 0.6335, I will look for it to drop. But should it go through, then there is the next target would be 0.6380 and potentially 0.6420. For now, though, I'm neutral on New Zealand dollar. Dollar CAD here, this one is neutral as well. We've seen price go back and forth here. Like I said, Canadian dollar has not been very good because one, Bank of Canada cut rates, and secondly, oil has been dropping, which weakens the Canadian dollar. And this is the only reason why we have seen US dollar go up against the Canadian dollar. But right now it's still trading within this range, and I'm expecting it to stay within this range. Now, if it goes through the middle here, this level at 1.3380, then this one could go all the way to the bottom here. So right now, this one is also neutral. I'm just looking for a move within these two levels here. So looking for a range-bound move for dollar CAD. All right, let's take a look at our commodities here. Silver looking quite bullish here. We have a nice bullish candle close, and looks like price is trying to break out to the upside here. So bias is bullish here. And in terms of a target here, we do have important support resistance level right into 17.60. So that's the first target here. And then we've got 17.85. So bias is bullish here for silver. Gold as well, looking extremely bullish here. Bias is definitely to the upside here. So safe haven assets have done well today. And next target here is 1689. And then beyond that, we are looking at some levels that we haven't seen in quite some time. So next target there would be 1700. So bias is bullish here for gold. Oil here. Oil did not do too well, even though OPEC OPEC talked about cutting the production, but oil has done poorly here, looking for price to drop further here, and target is the bottom of this range, looking for it to drop into 43.65. So bias is bearish here for oil. Copper here didn't do too well. It held below this resistance that we were talking about yesterday. So bias here is bearish, a big strong candle close to the downside. So looking for it to drop further here. First target is 2.50 and then 2.46 for copper. Bitcoin here went through this resistance. So now I would look for a pullback into 89.50, and if it holds above, then we could see a further move to the upside. So this is what I'm looking for. It has to hold above 89.50 for it to continue further. However, sometimes what happens is it comes into this pin. It can come into this 88.20 level and then go up further. So keep an eye on both of these levels. So 89.50 and 88.20 are the two levels to watch here, but bias is bullish. And we are looking at 9,400 as the first target, and then we've got 96.50 as the second target here. So bullish bias for Bitcoin. S&P 500, we saw a drop. Price went into the resistance here, couldn't go through. This is what we had talked about yesterday. It did have a lot of momentum, but just did not manage to go through that resistance. And we have a drop here. So bias is bearish. I will look for price to go and test this 29.73 level. And then second target is 2,900. So bearish bias here for S&P 500. Nasdaq as well, it has held below that resistance here. So looking for it to drop further here. 8,500 is the first target. And then second target here is 83.10. So bias is bearish here for Nasdaq as well. DAX looking bearish as well. Same thing here. Couldn't go through that resistance that it struggled with for the entire week here. So bias is bearish as well. 25,680 is the first target. And then below that, we've got 24,950. So bias is bearish here for Dow Jones here. And DAX here, same thing again, couldn't break through this resistance. And we have a bearish candle close, looking for it to go lower here into 11,630. And then below that, we've got 11,480 is the second target. So bias is bearish for DAX as well. FTSE here, same thing. We have seen a drop, couldn't go through that resistance. Bearish bias here. Next target is 64.80. And then after that, we could see a further drop into 64.50. So bias is bearish here for FTSE as well. And last but not least here, Nikkei. Nikkei also, we saw a bearish close here, got stuck into resistance. So looking for it to go back into the support here at 20,500. And should it manage to go through, next target will be 20,300. So bias is bearish here for Nikkei as well. So that's it for today. So it looks like the safe haven assets, we're looking at a risk-off environment. So safe haven assets are likely to do better. But markets have been very, very volatile. They've been going back and forth. So keep your eyes open or ears open for any kind of news that comes out, and it could change direction quite suddenly. So that's something to watch out for. But overall, we are in a risk-off environment. So safe haven assets are likely to do well, and the stock markets are likely to drop. So keep that in mind. So that's it for today. Have a wonderful trading day, and I will be back on Sunday now with the weekly market analysis. Bye for now.